Right now at 9, a pickup truck overturns and catches fire in a crash north of Joplin. Plus, a local cookie company hosts a cookie decorating class just in time for Valentine's Day. Also, we're heading to Pittsburgh for the SCK Humane Society's 45th annual chili dinner. And chili is the theme as a Joplin church hosts a chili and soup cook-off.
The 4 states' most watched news starts now.
A pickup truck overturns and catches fire in a 2-vehicle crash just north of Joplin. This is the KOAM News at 9. I'm Chris Warner. Just after 10 last night, a small passenger car heading west on Baseline Boulevard crashed into a pickup truck heading north on Missouri 43. Pickup truck overturned and caught fire. Asbury Fire and Rescue, Tri-Cities Fire District, Metz, Jasper County Sheriff's, Oronogo Police, and the Missouri State Highway Patrol all responded to the crash. 6 people were injured, 2 of them seriously. Turning to 4-state weather, it was a tad bit warmer today, and again, the sun was shining. Nick Kelly joined us.
Yeah, thankfully, no big systems to worry about this weekend, Chris. We kept things quiet to wrap up this weekend, and thankfully the numbers did trend warmer after a cold Saturday the other day. We had to start with midnight lows around 23, but then we just went right up to 44 degrees, not too far away from the average high of 49 now for this time of the year. This time around, mostly clear skies is what we've had all day long, all evening long. That's the way it's going to stay, but there is a warm front that will sweep on through as we go through the overnight, and that is going to help us out with temperatures. Here's what I mean. We're already seeing spots drop back into the upper 20s and lower 30s. We're going to pretty much hang around 27 degrees as we hit the midnight hour, and then eventually warm a bit by the time we head towards sunrise. But even with another quick front on the way for tomorrow, Chris, we'll continue to trend warmer, highs back in the mid-50s. And other big changes this week are on the way too. We'll break that down for you here in a bit.
All right, Nick, thank you. Coley's Cookies hosted a Galentine's cookie decorating party today. Now, the business provided everything needed to decorate 6 individual Valentine's Day and llama-themed cookies. There were instructors on hand to help out as well. Today's class was for everyone ages 16 and up, and those taking part received a bakery box to take cookies home in after the event.
A lot of people come in and want to learn how to decorate cookies, so we do classes for kids and for adults, and we thought today, with it being Super Bowl, that maybe there was some ladies that wouldn't necessarily want to be at the game watching it, so we would have a little get together here. So we're decorating some Valentine's Day cookies that they get to take home with them.
A Coley's Cookies is one of a series of new businesses in the 900 block of South Main in Joplin. Southeast Kansas Humane Society hosted their 45th annual chili feed today. The event was a drive-through style hosted outside the Memorial Auditorium in Pittsburgh. Chili dinners were available, which included chili, of course, and it also included a brownie and even a drink to go with it. All of the proceeds of today's dinner go directly to the Humane Society.
There's no words for it. The communities, they are just so supportive of the fur babies that my heart smiles just with all the outgoing concern, care, and love for them.
Brackett says on average they raise between $6,000 and $7,000 for the Humane Society. And chili was the theme today as the Byers Avenue United Methodist Church hosted a chili and soup cook-off. And as if the cook-off wasn't enough, there was also a dessert auction.
Well, here at Byers Avenue United Methodist Church today, we've been holding our annual chili cook-off and dessert auction. And we use the money for missions in our community, and this year we're kind of using it for our Thursday night meals that we're providing for the community and for our Bible study.
Now, the event took place at the church and kicked off after its morning service. Drivers in Joplin need to be prepared for some signal changes this week in downtown. Some stormwater work is taking place in the area of 10th and Main. Now, because of this, there's a signal pole that's got to be removed, and 10th Street west of Main is already closed. Starting February the 15th, the signal will change to a flashing yellow for Main Street traffic and a flashing red for 10th Street traffic. This closure and change in the signal is expected until a new signal pole can be put back in, and that's expected to take about 3 weeks. Missouri Senator Josh Hawley has announced who he is endorsing to take Senator Roy Blunt's seat after he retires later this year. Emily Manley from our affiliate KTVI has the story.
4 of the 6 candidates had 90 minutes Saturday to tell a room full of supporters why to vote for them. But the biggest news of the day was actually before the forum, when Senator Josh Hawley endorsed Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler.
I am so thrilled. I'm so grateful. He is such a champion for our conservative values in Washington and has been such a powerful voice for what Missouri believes in.
During a statewide gathering of Republican leaders and activists, the candidates hoping to fill Senator Roy Blunt's seat took the stage.
I think the first thing we need to do is secure the border.
We've got to get spending under control. We have a government that ignores the Constitution. We have a government that ignores the law.
Moments before the forum,
Thank you. Look forward to working together.
Senator Josh Hawley announced he is endorsing Congresswoman Vicky Hartzler.
People trust Josh. They respect him as a true conservative who is out there on the forefront fighting, and for him to recognize that I am that way as well.
While it was not mentioned during the forum, other candidates told reporters they were not surprised.
I knew that was coming for a long time. Whenever the day that Vicky hired Josh's team at On Message to represent her, I called Josh and I said, this looks to me like that, you might be getting into Vicky.
Josh Hawley's endorsement of Vicky Hartzler is just what you would expect, that a person who's got high political office will endorse somebody else who's been a 5-term congressman.
On stage, topics like how to address crime, congressional redistricting, and changes candidates want to see in Washington.
We have to back the blue, back the police, fund the police, don't defund the police.
This is the fight to save America. As your Attorney General, I have taken Joe Biden to the Supreme Court twice and won already, and we're going to continue that fight.
And make sure our kids are taught the ABCs and not CRT.
Now, during our interview, Hartzler said that she has more endorsements, but could not release any details. Congressman Long says that he plans to support the winner of the primary, no matter which Republican candidate wins. The other 2 candidates, Eric Greitens and Missouri Senate President Dave Schatz, were also invited to the forum, but did not attend. Reporting for our Missouri Capitol Bureau in St. Charles, I'm Emily Manley.
And we take this time now to honor one of our many 4-state heroes. Corporal Fred Fakin served in the Army during World War II, his hometown, Perry, Oklahoma. And we're proud to recognize Corporal Fred Fakin, tonight's 4-state hero. And remember, to learn more about other heroes or nominate one of your own anytime, just go over to KOAMNewsNow.com. Coming up, the latest on a fire that broke out at a hotel in Spain.
It was nice that we kept things quiet all weekend long, but we are eyeing some big changes, especially as we hit the middle of this coming week. But in the short term, though, it was really nice to see temperatures rebound after a downright cold Saturday with upper teens for lows and lower 30s, especially around Joplin Regional for our Saturday afternoon. Thankfully, it didn't get as cold this morning with early overnight lows in the lower 20s. Then we just trended warmer, thankfully as advertised, back in the lower to middle 40s this afternoon, not just in Joplin, but all across the region. In fact, temperatures will actually turn a bit mild, especially by Tuesday and Wednesday. That will be nice to enjoy, but that mild air is ahead of our next stronger storm system with thunderstorm chances and rain to start things out on Wednesday. And then another taste of winter with maybe some wintry mixes to talk about as we head back into Thursday of this coming week. In the meantime, though, 7th and range line, can't deny it. Mostly clear outside right now, and already sneaking back near 29 at Joplin Regional. South wind at 3. Thankfully doesn't give us a wind chill. In fact, it just feels like 29 against the bare skin outside. That's the same story throughout much of the area. A few mid-20s already around Stockton Lake, but most of us upper 20s to some lower 30s. But we are going to see temperatures actually hold steady as we go deeper into the overnight to start things out, because we're getting another taste of a south wind as we go into the overnight. Let me show you what I mean. Mostly clear skies here. This time no cloud cover to the north will head our way as we go into tomorrow. Here's what's going to be our saving grace. Instead of lower 20s tonight, we're thinking mainly upper 20s to near 30 with this warm front passing through overnight. And then we got a cold front that'll sneak by tomorrow, but that doesn't do anything big for us. Down the road, though, looking upstairs, as Doug said a few days ago, this upper level ridge out west is starting to buckle down, and that's going to allow this upper low not only to move into the Pacific Northwest, but really gain steam before it heads our way, especially by the middle of the week. In the short term, though, not much to show. Quiet skies tonight and throughout the day tomorrow, and that's going to really help us out with temperatures despite that cold front to the north trying to switch our wind around throughout the day. But that does not change the fact that we'll continue our warming trend. 27 in the morning, at least to start the overnight. Some of us will be in the lower 30s by 6 a.m. 51 by noon, highs to 56, even with that light breeze switching out of the north and even toward the east at 5 to 10 miles per hour. We stay mostly clear and quiet with upper 30s to start your Tuesday morning out, and then pushing into the 60s despite partly sunny skies working back in. But those partly sunny skies on Tuesday will be ahead of this upper level wave that's really going to dig into the desert southwest and then start heading our way Wednesday. With the way things look, we'll watch for showers to start Wednesday out, then showers and thunderstorms Wednesday afternoon and evening. Then the question becomes how fast can temperatures drop as the backside of the system rolls in. Still, doesn't change the fact that we got a shot for rain snow mix before the system clears out as we go throughout the day on Thursday. That's the only big system on the horizon, something we'll still watch closely, but looking good for the next few days at least. For our Valentine's Day tomorrow, sunny, highs to 56. We'll go mid-60s Tuesday, lower 60s Wednesday, and once we get on the backside of that system, Chris, we'll be dropping through the 20s all day Thursday, but that, again, just a temporary quick taste of winter ready to roll back in.
Yeah, not bad. Just got to get through that hump in the week, and it's a good forecast.
Yeah, and then right back near 60 on Sunday.
I'll take it. Nick, thank you so much. Well, still ahead, Pope Francis prayed for a peaceful diplomatic solution to the tensions between Russia and Ukraine.
That was awesome! Coming Wednesday, March 9th to Fox.
A fire broke out at a hotel in Spain on Saturday. According to police, the blaze spread through a Barcelona hotel, forcing some to jump out windows on the mattresses placed below to try and escape the fire. At least one person was killed and 8 others were injured, police reported. The cause of the fire is still under investigation. Pope Francis praying for a peaceful diplomatic solution to tensions between Russia and Ukraine. While speaking from the Vatican on Sunday, His Holiness said, quote, "The news coming from Ukraine is very worrisome." The Pope went on to pray for a peaceful political resolution to the conflict. This comes as Russia has amassed over 100,000 troops near Ukraine's border, but the Kremlin claims it has no plans to attack. Regardless, the U.S. has been shipping over military aid to help deter Russia from invading Ukraine. People are paying tribute today to a Mexican journalist who was killed. Herbert Lopez was reportedly remodeling his studio when 2 men arrived and shot him 5 times. While the men were attempting to flee into a white van, police arrested the men. One of the men arrested is the brother of a government official who Lopez has previously called out for having criminal links. Lopez is the 6th journalist murdered in Mexico this year. Up next, warehouse workers for one major tech company going to see some changes in their policies.
We're here to help.
Warehouse workers for one major tech company will soon be breathing freely. Amazon employees working in company warehouses will no longer be required to wear masks if they're vaccinated. Tech giant put this requirement into effect during the Omicron surge in December. Amazon also updated rules in place for paid time off, with those vaccinated eligible for COVID-19 related paid leave if they contract the virus, and those unvaccinated will lose COVID paid leave. Company shortened mandated quarantine periods from 7 days to 5 days back in January off the back of a CDC recommendation. 2 major auto companies making adjustments to keep their businesses running during the Canadian trucker protests. Ford says all of its North American plants will run next week except for Ohio and Kansas City assembly operations. Companies making some operational alterations, including running fewer shifts and moving some products by air. Assembly at 2 General Motors plants in Ontario, Canada and Flint, Michigan were also altered. GM says it's working with suppliers to limit shortage issues. Police are working to clear a days-old blockade protest in Windsor, Ontario to free up travel and trade. A landmark launch for a key space race player and his ship could come soon. SpaceX could send up its Starship for an attempt to make its first orbital flight, perhaps as soon as next month. The bullet-shaped Starship successfully launched and landed last May. SpaceX founder Elon Musk says he anticipates some failures, but he's sure the Starship will reach orbit by the end of the year. NASA plans to use the fully reusable ship for astronaut moon landings by 2025. For now, Starship will carry internet Starlink satellites into orbit. That guacamole you make might cost more as supply from Mexico gets a little more restricted. The U.S. announcing Saturday they're going to temporarily suspend avocado shipments over security concerns. Avocados grown in the Mexican state of Michoacan won't be going to the U.S. after health authorities received threatening calls on their cell phones. While Michoacan is one of the largest avocado producers in Mexico, the area has faced major problems with gang violence. The U.S. is the top global consumer of Mexican avocados. The pain at the pump shows no sign of letting up. The average price of a gallon of regular gasoline shot up by 15 cents over the past 3 weeks, now stands at $3.55 per gallon. Industry analyst Tribbley Lundberg of the Lundberg Survey says the price spike followed a jump in the cost of crude oil nationwide. The highest average price for the regular gas is in the San Francisco Bay Area, $4.75 a gallon. The lowest average is in Houston at $3.05 for a gallon of gasoline. Rapper Kodak Black and 3 others were hurt in a shooting outside an LA restaurant early Saturday. Now, police say it started with a fight as celebrities were partying in West Hollywood after a private Justin Bieber concert. Fox's Brian Yennis has more on the investigation.
24-year-old rapper Kodak Black was shot in the leg. 3 others were also wounded. Everyone is in stable condition with non-life-threatening injuries. TMZ captured the scary shooting on video. Kodak is seen outside at around 2:45 a.m. Saturday morning. According to TMZ, someone from Kodak's entourage was jumped, and then Kodak threw himself into the fight, and that's when gunfire erupted. Multiple shots were fired by an unknown suspect, hitting 3 others reportedly aged 19, 24, and 60. Victims were seen lying on the ground. There have been no arrests, and the suspect is on the loose. The shooting happened at about 2:45 in the morning Saturday in West Hollywood in Los Angeles. The gunshots causing a crowd of people to disperse on the street, people running for their lives every which way. This all happened after a Justin Bieber concert. He had just performed in celebration of the Super Bowl and was hosting a star-studded pre-Super Bowl after party at the Nice Guy restaurant in LA. Bieber and his wife, Haley, were seen making a hasty exit from the restaurant after shots were fired right outside the establishment, which is about a half-hour drive away from SoFi Stadium, which hosted the Super Bowl. For Kodak Black, despite being shot in the leg, he's okay enough, apparently, to go to the Super Bowl. He tweeted that he would be attending the game with Drake and that he was rooting for the orange and black Bengals. The LAPD is looking for a suspect described only as a black male. Anyone with information is encouraged to call 1-800-222-TIPS. In New York City, Brian Yennis, Fox News.
We're going to wrap up this half hour of the News at 9 with a story about the Super Bowl, specifically betting.
You hear a lot of things.
Committed to community service.
Well, in case you didn't already know this, it's Super Bowl Sunday and bettors across the country are lining up their picks. While wins and losses might be the more popular bets, the prop bet market, covering random aspects of the game, is more active than ever around the Super Bowl. Current prop bets include what color Gatorade will be poured on the winning coach, what the price of Bitcoin will look like when the game ends, and what the Super Bowl MVP will mention first in his end-of-game speech. Even the national anthem isn't safe from the bettor market, with those interested able to bet whether the song will be longer or shorter than 1 minute and 35 seconds. It's a lot of betting going on and a lot of different things to bet on. I play scratcher tickets. That's about as far as I go when it comes to betting, gambling, or anything else like that. Hey, you know what else you can bet on? And you're going to win? We got 30 more minutes of news, weather, and sports coming your way. Up first, the man accused of killing 6 people last November at a Christmas parade in Wisconsin makes his plea in court on Friday. Plus,
President Biden assures Ukraine the United States will take action if Russia invades its borders. I'm Trey Yingst in Kiev, Ukraine. I've got the details coming up.
Today.
Welcome back. The man accused of killing 6 people last November at a Christmas parade in Wisconsin makes his plea in court on Friday. 39-year-old Darrell Brooks pleaded not guilty to 77 charges, including 6 homicide charges and several counts of reckless endangerment. Brooks will remain in jail on a $5 million bail with a hearing scheduled for March 11th. Authorities charged Brooks with deliberately driving an SUV into a Waukesha, Wisconsin Christmas parade last November. Victims ranged from 8 to 81 in the parade group. More than 60 others were injured. A western state which strengthened its drunk driving laws is seeing the benefits. Traffic deaths have fallen in the state of Utah after its legislature adopted the strictest drunk driving laws in the nation back in 2017. State legislators lowered the drunk driving threshold from 0.08% to 0.05%. According to an NHTSA study, the number of crashes and fatalities fell statewide despite an increase in log miles. Lobbyists for the beverage industry say the study was cherry-picking data and that more than 30 other states saw deaths decrease over the same period. 2 police officers in Alabama are being commended for saving a man's life after his pickup truck caught fire. Authorities say 2 weeks ago, officers Jason Mitchell and Tim Dyson took quick action when they responded to the scene. Officer Mitchell arrived first and pulled the man from the truck when it caught fire just outside Springville. Officer Dyson assisted him. Fortunately, no one was seriously injured. Authorities say the officers had no time to spare. They say just moments after the man was pulled from the truck, it became fully engulfed in flames. Senator Ben Ray Lujan says he's recovering well from the stroke he suffered late last month. The New Mexico Democrat made his comments in a video released on Sunday. 49-year-old lawmaker says he will be back in Washington in a few short weeks to vote on President Biden's Supreme Court nominee. That's sure to be welcome news to the president and his supporters. Till Lujan returns in person, Democrats do not have the 50 votes needed to confirm a nominee on a party line vote. That would give the Republicans potential veto power over Mr. Biden's choice. Tension is mounting as world leaders wait to see if Russia will invade Ukraine, potentially setting off a wider conflict. Fox News correspondent Trey Yanks has more from Kiev, Ukraine.
President Biden holding a call with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky Sunday. The president reaffirming the United States' commitment to Ukraine's sovereignty and territorial integrity. Mr. Biden promising America will respond quickly and decisively should Moscow invade, with promises of major economic sanctions. One option includes keeping the controversial Nord Stream 2 pipeline, which would bring Russia natural gas to Germany under the Baltic Sea, bypassing Ukraine offline. On CBS Face the Nation, Republican Congressman Adam Kinzinger said Russian President Vladimir Putin needs to learn a hard lesson following all of his aggression.
We have to shut down Nord Stream 2 regardless of what happens in Ukraine.
The call comes as President Zelensky continues to downplay intensified warnings of a possible Russian invasion within days, saying he has not seen any convincing evidence. President Zelensky's comments come even as the U.S. warns of more Russian troops pressing closer to Ukraine's borders, and some airlines canceling flights or diverting them away from Ukraine. More military aid continues to flow into Ukraine. A new shipment arrived from Lithuania on Sunday. Ukraine's defense minister thanked the Lithuanian government for the delivery of Stinger missiles and other supplies. Russia continues to deny it has plans to invade Ukraine, though there are more than 100,000 Russian soldiers along the borders of Ukraine, and the country is currently conducting joint military exercises with neighboring Belarus. U.S. officials say President Putin now has enough forces to launch a full-scale invasion if he decides to do so. In Kiev, Trey Yanks, Fox News.
Later on the news at 9, Special Counsel John Durham says lawyers for the Hillary Clinton campaign paid a tech company to infiltrate servers belonging to Trump Tower and later the White House in an attempt to link former President Trump to Russia.
Why is Lisa?
It was nice that we kept things quiet to wrap up the weekend before we see our next big change roll our way. Not until we get into the middle of the week, though. In the short term, it was just nice to see temperatures finally rebound after quite a cold Saturday on the heels of the last cold front that came on through during the day on Friday. That took us from the 50s on Friday to about the lower 30s for yesterday afternoon. Only a minor dip into the lower 20s again late last night, very early this morning. And look at that. Better numbers today with highs back in the 40s. We'll continue to trend warmer for the next few days, so we'll certainly look forward to that. In the meantime, though, before we get to those warmer numbers at 9:37, it looks nice and quiet for 7th and Range Line, but don't need me to tell you it's cold again. 29 in Joplin. Thankfully, a south breeze at 3 miles per hour doesn't make it feel any colder. And believe it or not, even though that breeze is light, that south wind will help us out again as we go through the overnight and certainly into tomorrow. In the meantime, though, look at the temperatures. Everyone's downright cold again. Mid to upper 20s to some lower 30s, especially south of Interstate 44, because earlier today we had that north breeze kicking in and holding steady as we got the evening underway between 5 and 15 miles per hour. But look at what's going on now. We're getting that southeasterly and south wind back into action, even though it's light right now. Even though we'll have mostly clear skies that we're seeing now continue throughout the course of the overnight. Here's what's coming our way. First, a warm front that'll sweep on through during the overnight that'll allow temperatures to actually warm a bit before we hit sunrise. Then we got a quick cold front that'll come on in tomorrow, late morning, certainly for the afternoon. It doesn't do much for us. That won't stop us from trending warmer for tomorrow afternoon. But in terms of what I'm really keeping an eye on in terms of activity out west, it is this upper low. Not on shore in the Pacific Northwest yet, but that's the wave we're watching closely for the middle of the week. In the short term, though, we can almost breeze through this future track forecast. I had to stop it at midnight, though, because we'll have the temperatures right now be our overnight lows right at the midnight hour. Then as that south breeze kicks up a bit at 5 to 15 miles per hour, we'll actually push back into the lower 30s as we get the morning drive to work and school underway. But with plenty of sunshine waiting for us after we get past sunrise, and even with the wind shifting out of the north by noon and out of the east in the afternoon, look at how the temperatures are eager to warm back up once again. 27 in the morning, 51 by noon. Highs to 56. That's certainly looking good for not only Valentine's Day, but to start the new work week and school week out. We'll hold on to mostly clear skies as we go into Monday night, Tuesday morning with upper 30s for lows. And even with partly sunny skies on the way for Tuesday, we stay dry. We are downright mild with highs back in the mid-60s across much of the region. Numbers hard to come by in February, but we better savor those numbers by the time we head into Tuesday and even Wednesday before this upper low digging into the southwest by Tuesday, gain some steam and heads our way. As it does, we'll watch for scattered showers to start Wednesday out, showers and thunderstorms on Wednesday. I think any severe weather chances stays to the south with the system on the way in. But we got to watch the temperatures on Thursday because our rain chances to start Thursday out still look set to bring us a rain-snow mix as temperatures go from midnight highs around 46, falling into the 20s throughout the day on Thursday. But before we deal with that system, though, Chris, we're looking good for the next few days. 56 tomorrow, 65 Tuesday, both days looking dry. And even after we get past that quick winter blast on Thursday, back to 41 on Friday and 50s and 60s Saturday, Sunday.
I can live with that. I mean, I don't mind the little winter blast as long as we recover quickly on the other side.
And we certainly look to do that this weekend.
I'm looking forward to that recovery already.
Yes.
Thank you so much. Coming up in sports, Missouri Southern plays a doubleheader in the final day of the Edmond Regional Festival. Plus, it's Joe Burrow against Matthew Stafford in Super Bowl 56. Danny Terzer's got those highlights next.
Good news, there's now a place at the network.
This is the Toyota Sunday Night Sports Feed. After a week of hype and anticipation, the Super Bowl is finally here. We've got Joe Burrow and Matthew Stafford both making their first Super Bowl appearances, and both of them first overall draft picks. The Rams playing at home, 4-point favorites. Matthew Stafford finds Odell Beckham Jr. for the 17-yard score. He later exits the game with an injury and doesn't return. Bengals now, Joe Burrow launches a deep pass to Jamar Chase. What a catch, one-handed for the big gain. Cincinnati, though, settles for a field goal. To the second, Stafford to Kupp in the back of the end zone, 13-3 Rams. Then a little Bengals trickery, Burrow to Joe Mixon, Mixon to T. Higgins for the score. 13-10 LA at half. Really good game down the stretch. Rams pull it off to become Super Bowl champs. 23-20 the final. Pitt State is off to a hot start in their first season under head coach Jenny Fuller. The Gorillas are 4-0. In the final day of the Alvey Early Memorial Classic, Pitt State playing 2 games. First up, Pitt State rolls by Wayne State in a run rule victory 17-4. Gabby Schultz hit a 3-run home run. Then in game 2, the Gorillas dropped their first game of the season. Harding walked it off to win 10-8. Kylie Boley had a home run and Cammie Zimmerman hit a bases-loaded double that scored 3. Southern also plays a doubleheader today to close out the Edmond Regional Festival. Game 1 against Southern Nazarene. It takes 9 innings, but the Lions get the win 5-4. Leighton Withers goes 3 for 5 with an RBI. Adriana Young adds 2 RBIs off of 2 hits. And then in Game 2, Oklahoma Christian rolls by Southern 12-4. Ashlyn Williams 2 for 3 with an RBI for the Lions. Pitt State Track and Field hosted the 7th annual Gorilla Indoor Classic on Friday and Saturday. It's the Gorillas' final meet before the MIAA Indoor Championships begin on the 25th. On Friday, Pitt State won the distance medley and broke the school record. Christine Williams placed first in the 200 meters. She broke her own school record and posted the fastest time in Division II this season. In Saturday's action, the Pitt State men broke 5 more school records and 4 athletes placed first. Hunter Jones won the high jump, LJ Kiner won the triple jump, Braylon Brewer placed first in the 400-meter dash, and Bryce Grawn came in first in the 3,000-meter run. The Missouri Southern Lions went 2-0 this week, picking up wins over 21-ranked Missouri Western and Northwest. Back in early January, Southern dropped back-to-back games against these same 2 teams. They've come a long way, though. Southern hasn't lost a game since that road trip. The Lions are now winners of 11 straight.
I think it definitely shows that we've grown as a team throughout the season. You know, we faced some bumps and we faced some setbacks, but it just shows how strong we are and how confident we are in each other to, bounce back from stuff like that and just further into the rest of the season with confidence and knowing that, we aren't who we are at the beginning of the season.
The Kansas Jayhawks have played 5 ranked teams in their last 5 games. They went 3-2 in that span, including a loss to Texas in their most recent time out. Saturday, the Jayhawks at home taking on Oklahoma. Kansas trailing in the first. Ochai Agbaji hits the 3. And later, Zach Clemens sinks his own triple to get Kansas a 1-point lead. Under a minute to play here. Jayhawks up 6 now. Jordan Goldwire from deep knocks it down. Sooners within reach. And then off a turnover, Elijah Harkless gets the basket. 1-point game. Final seconds, Goldwire to tie it. Shot is no good. Kansas escapes Oklahoma, winning 71-69. Arkansas coming off a win against 1-ranked Auburn at Alabama on Saturday. Keon Ellis lobs it up. Charles Bediako throws it down. Then off the inbounds pass, J.D. Davison to Jawan Gray for the 2-handed jam. Tide keeps rolling. Davison gets the bucket and foul. Double-digit lead for Alabama with the 3-point play. Extending their lead, James Rojas gets the steal, finishes on the other end, and the foul. But hold up, Razorbacks making a comeback here. J.D. Note, big 3. Arkansas down by just 1 now. 30 seconds on the clock. Noah Gurley hits the turnaround jumper. Alabama hangs on, snapping Arkansas's 9-game winning streak, 68-67. That's a look at sports. We're back after this.
Vote now for
New filings in the Durham probe allege Hillary Clinton's campaign paid a tech company to infiltrate servers at Trump Tower and the White House to create a Russian collusion narrative. Fox News correspondent Alexandria Hoff has the latest.
These revelations were not revealed in any dramatic fashion. Instead, they were contained within a motion relating to a potential conflict of interest in the defense team representing former Clinton campaign lawyer Michael Sussman. Sussman is among those indicted so far in special counsel John Durham's probe into the origins of the Trump-Russia investigation. But in this motion, under a section titled Factual Background, Durham reveals that Sussman, another Clinton lawyer, and a tech executive solicited work to infiltrate servers at Trump Tower and later at the White House. Durham wrote in the motion, quote, Tech Executive 1 and his associates exploited this arrangement by mining the executive office of the president's DNS traffic and other data for the purpose of gathering derogatory information about Donald Trump. Republican Congressman Jim Jordan and former acting Attorney General Matt Whitaker reacted to this today.
Now we know 100% John Durham's revelation, John Durham's filing here. Yep, there was spying going on, and it was worse than we thought because they were spying on the sitting president of the United States, and it goes right to the Clinton campaign.
It is beyond outrageous what happened here, and the fact that the left doesn't seem concerned that this is what was happening, I think shows you how much they wanted to take President Trump down.
Former President Trump issued this statement reading in part, quote, this is a scandal far greater in scope and magnitude than Watergate, and those who were involved in and knew about this spying operation should be subject to criminal prosecution. Now, Michael Sussman has been charged for lying about who he worked for when he provided now debunked information on Trump to the FBI. He has pleaded not guilty to that. And Ohio Congressman Mike Turner, who stands to become the chair of the House Intelligence Committee if Republicans regain control of the House, was asked if hearings will be held on the Durham findings, and he said, absolutely. In Washington, Alexandria Hoff, Fox News.
Coming up next, we're heading to the Puppy Bowl. Welcome back. We have Danny Terzer joining us for the end of the show to help call a special set of highlights.
All right, these highlights tonight coming from the popular Puppy Bowl 18. We got a paw to the face flag here. Birch grabs the toy, runs it into the end zone for a touchdown. Fluff team up 7-0. Norman dodges pressure, gets in for the score 14-7. This here is Lulu. Slips into the end zone, 21-17. Teddy Bear now. Grab the toy. He darts into the end zone, 31-28. It's Teddy Bear again. He takes off, gets in for the score, 48-45. Kirby wins the foot race touchdown on the other end. He scores again. 52-48. They're calling that a double touchdown. And then Odell Barkham, he picks up the toy. And then I'll just kind of turn around and walk in for the score. 66-62 is the final in the Puppy Bowl.
See, I brought Danny in because I can't call highlights, and so I figured we needed an expert. So if you weren't watching the Super Bowl, if you didn't have anything vested in it, then you had an opportunity to join us for the Puppy Bowl tonight. So have you ever done anything like that?
Can't say I have. First time of that one. Not sure what I like better, dog sports or human sports.
I mean, there's a lot of good action in that game today. So, I mean, you had your choice of the Puppy Bowl or the Super Bowl, but the Super Bowl playing out pretty well as well. So it's a tough call. It's a tough call. Puppies are people.
Lots of action today.
That's for sure. Cameron, what did you think?
I thought it was pretty cool.
Cameron thought it was pretty cool. Cameron hides back there. I told him one of these days I'm going to put him out here so people can actually see that he's a real person. He's back there. Nick, on the other hand, is very vested in this upcoming forecast, so make sure you get the Skywatch weather app and, of course, the KOAM News Now app so you can keep up on all the sports highlights, which unfortunately doesn't include the Puppy Bowl, but we have a lot of other great sports content on there. Guys, thank you so much. That is our time for now. We're going to see you back here next weekend. Thanks for making us part of your night.